They're guys. They do magic. They are the Magic Guys.
What's up, guys? Jason Ma, the magician, and it's Josh. Josh is here. Josh, let's talk about the nitty gritty. Let's get straight into it. No dicking around.
Whoa.
No wasting time.
No fluffing intros or anything.
No fluffy.
We're back.
No monkey ass.
We're starting.
Nothing. We're just going to go straight for it.
We're
Josh,
starting 2021 to the point.
So you post a video on YouTube, right? You've edited it. You've done your thing. You've done your magic trick. You post it on YouTube. What is your least favorite comment to see on that video? Go for it.
My least favorite comment is, I need a boyfriend. Do you get that comment? It's obviously a spam one.
Me, sexy girl looking for horny guy.
Yeah, they're always the first to comment. Like, I think I understand why they don't have a boyfriend. They're spending too much time commenting on people's videos.
I actually don't get that many compared to you, but that's probably because I watch infinitesimally less porn.
Is that why? Okay. Right. But so the spam, what I'm getting at is the spam messages are quite annoying because they're straight away and they try to put a link in your thing. But the second most annoying are when you get other magicians trying to reveal the effect just so that you know that they know.
That you know.
Yeah, that they know.
Yeah. I hate those guys. And it's always so funny too because they always try to do it in the most like subtle way, but like it's so direct, it's not even subtle. They're like, wow, that was quite a nice you did there. And then you're just like, great.
Yeah, you're like, thanks, man. Thanks for calling out an actual method of magic.
Yeah,
for the public.
And then so now I'm just there with my dick in my hand, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, like how do I handle this? Do I just get angry at this guy, or do I just ignore it, or what's going on?
Yeah, because as magicians, we understand.
We know that magicians
works.
know. We know that magicians know.
Yeah.
We get it. We don't need you to tell us that you know because you're a magician. I get it.
Yeah, the videos are not there to fool you as a magician. If you're watching it as a magician, it's there to entertain you, or you're there to support the magician you're watching.
Or if anything else, it just gives you some ideas, right? Like if I use a method that you already know, but I do it in a way that you're like, oh, I never thought of using it like that. You don't need to be like, oh, nice DL, bro. I see you use a TT. That's amazing.
And this,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like going to like a superhero movie and being like, that's green screened.
Yeah, just
there
so you
is
know,
no way that guy is green and is that big. That is green screened.
Yeah. Spider-Man can't really shoot webs out of his wrist. It's all fake.
Yeah, it's all camera tricks. That's what it's like though. That's what it honestly feels like when a magician does that. You're just like, what are you doing? You know what I tie it down to? Insecurity. Because like whenever I watch a magic video, I never feel the need to be like, oh, using a TT. Wow. You know what I mean? I usually just, usually my first comments are, that's a great idea. You know, like if I see like an idea where it's like a method that sure I know, but instead of being like, I know what you did there. That was great. No, I just say, that's a cool concept. That's a cool trick. Like that's great patter, great storytelling, all that sort of stuff. You know,
we don't watch David Blaine's specials that come out and go, oh, that close-up effect he did did X, Y, and Z. So, you know, just so you know, David.
Riffle force?
Yeah,
man,
David, what's going on? You know, we don't watch. I'm trying to think of
true though, right?
something more recent. Like we don't watch Magic for Humans on Netflix and be like, yo, wait. That was just, 2 cups. That wasn't 1 cup. I've
seen that.
Yeah.
You got a TT.
And it's like the only reason, I think you nailed it on the head. It's insecurity. It's like, I need you to know that I have skills and I understand what's going on. But
I have a few people on my...
You would be experiencing it the most, right?
On my 365 challenge, and especially on TikTok, I get this a lot. There's magicians just constantly trying to subtly let me know that they know what's up. But here's the thing. If you even know a base level of magic, a lot of stuff you can sort of figure out. You know what I mean? And so I don't need you to tell me, man. I get it. Keep it a secret. The point is that we're keeping secrets for lay people to enjoy.
And speaking of those stupid people. And speaking of TikTok, which you're doing very well on, by the way, it has a very weird feel about it where people feel like they have the right to know how something works?
Yeah.
Have you noticed this?
Yeah. I brought this up actually on the Decking Around podcast.
Right.
They did a live 24-hour thing, and then they asked me, they just point blank said, do you think TikTok is ruining magic? And my answer was, short answer, yes. Long answer, it depends. But for the most part, yeah, I think TikTok is shockingly bad for magic.
Yeah, like the people to get content will post 2 videos. One is a magic trick. Number 2 is how they did that magic trick.
Yeah.
And the how they did the magic trick will sometimes, a lot of times, get more views. Therefore, it makes the younger generation that feel that hit of dopamine and just do that more. You know,
to give you a perspective, the top magician creators, there are currently, that I know, 3. Well, there are like 4 or 5 of them actually, but they all use that method where they all expose magic. But there's this one guy that I hate the most. It's not Sean Does Magic either. It's there's this guy called the Card Baby, right? Yeah, Card Baby.
Okay.
He's a Russian guy, and his whole videos are literally, he has the camera like close to him, and he does the tricks with the camera behind, so you can see from the exposed view, and then he has a mirror in front of it, so you can see what it would look like. Right? And literally all he does is just expose tricks, but he doesn't just expose tricks. Like, this guy has exposed like stuff that you're like, wow, I can't believe you're revealing this.
and for what reason does a layperson need to know? Like, what use are they going to have to
Right?
this?
Yeah, you're just literally taking away. And this is the thing that I find crazy about it too, right? I reckon that a lot of these TikTok magicians will disappear. So because TikTok's not going to last forever. Nothing will last forever. TikTok especially won't last forever. That's too controversial. But what I think will happen is that suddenly the app will shift, or people will get off it or whatever, and all of those creators will scramble trying to get onto like YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that, but no one's going to want to see it because these guys are nowhere else. Like, and if they are somewhere else, they're still nowhere else.
Yeah.
Like, that Sean Does Magic has gained, I think he's got almost 300,000 followers on YouTube, which is a big number, sure.
Which is still pretty big.
But this is what you got to think of though. So on TikTok, he'll post a video and it gets like 300,000 or 1 million views or whatever. He's got 15 million followers on TikTok. And then on YouTube though, he's got 300,000 followers, and when he posts a video, it'll typically get about 2,000 views.
Right. So they're not loyal. These are not loyal
that's
fans.
what I mean. Yeah, exactly. So they're not like, there's no commitment. There's these people don't care about
scrollers.
you. They're just there to get free like exposure from tricks and stuff like that. That's it.
Because the thing is, if your whole thing is explaining magic, you know, what happens when you want to try and make income from this and put on a show, you know, people don't know you for entertaining them. So they're not going to come and see you do a show. They just want to be scrolling through while they're on the toilet and, you know, see a few things revealed to go, oh, that's interesting. Just like how we watch National Geographic and it's interesting watching how an insect kills another insect or whatever. It's not like it's just passing time, and that's all you're doing is passing time for people, but you're revealing these secrets. I think what people forget is like the original magician's code is that we don't keep secrets from people. We keep secrets for people.
Yeah.
If you think about that.
The other thing is as well is that so for example, these people are building these followings on 60-second videos, right? Which means that when they try to make long form content, you're so conditioned to watching these people for only 60 seconds that after 60 seconds, you're like, all right, that's enough. You know?
And also in that 60 seconds, they normally say more or less the same stuff, like the same taglines.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't know what to do after 60 seconds.
There's a guy who I have the utmost respect for, by the way. His name's Doug Conn. Brilliant magician, by the way. You should definitely check him out. And he's been on my channel before as well. But there is something that he's doing recently where he started posting his TikToks onto YouTube, and his channel is like blowing up, right? But there's just something that I noticed. So it's like you build this following of people who watch 60-second videos, and then and his videos, they get lots of views, these 60-second videos. But I've seen him post like 1 or 2 long videos and they get like nothing. Like nobody watches them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I guess that's like the decision you have to make when you start doing this content creation is you have to decide, are you going to make long form content or short form content? Because short form content isn't monetized, like you can't monetize it on YouTube. So you get stuck with a decision of whether or not, like, what are you doing? Are you just building a crowd for nothing? And the other thing that I hate as well is that with TikTok, I swear they use the following button as like a like button. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. People hitting the follow.
Yeah, so like it's like they watch your video and it's like one video that they really liked, and then so they'll hit the follow as if it was a like button, not like a I want to see more of your stuff. It's
interesting.
Just, boom, you know. That's why like when you get a viral video, you get literally like I've never seen someone go so fast on TikTok. It's insane. It's
not me though.
Yeah, but your content sucks.
Oh well, at least we got that cleared. Cheers.
No, it's just silly though, because so for example, like I posted this rope trick and it got like 300,000 views, and from it I gained literally like 10K followers just straight away, just
damn
10K.
All those rope lovers
in like one day. Yeah, man. But then it's like, but then where do those 10K go? Because then I post another video and you get nowhere near as many views, and what the hell happened to these 10,000 people that just started following me?
It's so bizarre, isn't it? It's like we don't understand it, but you know, it's the current trend. It's like Vine. You know, it's exactly like Vine was. You know, however long that was 5 years ago or something, and it disappeared. And the top tiered creators of that then went on to become super successful, like the David Dobrik's and the Logan Pauls. They were all from Vine originally.
Yeah.
Jason Nash, all those guys. But there's only a small handful. So it'd be interesting to see, you know, who rises from the ashes when that, you know, when whatever happens to that happens.
I think Charli D'Amelio will survive. That's like she'll be around forever now.
I think it's fair to say she's doing pretty well.
Yeah, she's killing it.
Her and Addison. I think that's the other girl.
It's a sister, right? Oh no, Addison Rae, right?
Yeah, Addison Rae, Charli D'Amelio, and Dixie D'Amelio.
Yeah.
And Jason Mayer.
And Jason Mayer.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's that.
My measly 215,000 compared to her 110 million.
Dude, it's crazy stuff.
Dude, she has enough people to overthrow Australia 4 times.
That's insane. TikTok, man. So crazy. Yo, also, thanks to everyone who's been sending in their questions, their audio questions. Really appreciate it. We have a few lined up for you in our next episodes. We might roll one once we run out of stuff to say on this TikTok business.
But
yo, thanks for sending them in. It's great to hear people listening and to get your questions so we can give you real answers, not just stuff we're making up ourselves.
Yeah, we usually just turn the camera on and the mics and we just start rambling.
Yeah.
See where it takes us.
Like when I picked up Jason to come record this, we pretty much had a whole podcast in the car. Like all the stuff we talked about was interesting stuff that we're just now continuing on with. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which brings me back to your fucking card baby, man. What the hell is that guy doing? But yeah, exposing magic.
But originally, you know, to bring it full circle, we were talking about YouTube comments.
Yeah, so if you're a magician, just shut the fuck up.
The other annoying comment, well, not annoying, just redundant, is, please, sir, follow me.
Do you get that? I never get that.
Sometimes, yeah.
I get them on TikTok. I get those on TikTok a lot.
Right.
Yeah, but never
TikTok
on,
as well. Yeah.
Never on YouTube, though. Oh. On YouTube, I swear I've got the best following on YouTube.
You do. You have the most loyal following ever.
They're amazing. Absolutely incredible. They're all so friendly too. And it's so like me saying like the comments that I dislike about magicians subtly, you know, it rarely comes up on my YouTube channel, but it does come up every now and again. But
well, it did come up today, right? Like there was one. And we had a little laugh about it, and just like, you know, why?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I don't want to make him feel bad though. He is a nice guy, but Jesus Christ, man. I get it. You know how it's done.
Boy. All right. Should we take a question then? You're not
ready. Are you saying that you want to include other people in our podcast?
I think so.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay. So this question comes from Tony Varga. Tony Varga is a longtime listener, follower, supporter. Thank you, Tony. And we're going to listen to your question right now. Here we go.
Hi guys, Tony from Croatia here. I love your show. I love what you're doing. Just keep up the good work. Basically, I have 2 questions for you. First question is, do you come up with your own magic slides, effects, tricks, gimmicks, stuff like that? If yes, what's the approach that you take on doing so? And do you incorporate that stuff in your performance? If not, if you don't come up with your own stuff, then why not? And when are you planning to start doing that? That's the first question.
Should I pause it there? We'll answer that question first.
It's pretty funny. It's like a backhanded question.
It's like, do you come up with your own stuff? If not, why not?
Why the not? All right, so I can start. I'll start.
For it.
So for the most part, I'm not a creator. There are two types of magicians. There are creators and performers. And you'll often find the people that create magic, they really don't perform often. They just create stuff and sell it. But in saying that, I have come up with a couple of my own tricks, one of which is the Clingy Club sandwich, which I'm very proud of, one of my favorite tricks.
Nice.
Perform it all the time. But yeah, I came up with the it's like a one-handed split that retains some secrecy to it. I'm not going to give it away, but it's a very nice trick, very visual. I have a tutorial on my YouTube, go check it out.
I'm not going to reveal it now, but there's a link you can learn it.
Yeah. But it is a good trick. And yeah, I came up with that one completely by myself. As for gimmicks, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a creator. So I've made gimmicks, but it's not my creation. It's just me replicating something that I've seen.
Yeah.
I don't know. What about you? You create anything? Not really, eh?
Love it. So for me, my goal is not to create stuff for the market. If I'm coming up with things, it's for my own use. Like one thing I was proud of, it was a very small thing, but I just built my own, what's called an index system. I can't say too much more than that, but I built my own little thing that would go on my jacket. So I went down to Officeworks, an office supply store, and I cut up this thing and stapled it together. And so it was like a tiny little thing. And basically it just came from a need. I needed this thing to be slim and fit into my jacket. So I just found a way to adapt what was currently out there already. In terms of coming up with my own stuff, what I've just been trying to do lately is just add my own flavor to effects. So you won't see me doing new effects, but you'll see me adding other skills that I have into current plots. So of late, the last show I did had a backflip in it to find a card. And then my newest thing, which you got to witness me try for the first time, was doing a handstand while doing this memory demonstration. So it's not so much coming up with these brand new things, but it certainly is looking inwards on other skills or interests that I have in life and then using them to infuse in the magic. So it just adds more personality to what you're doing.
Yeah, I think that's it's kind of funny too, because I think a lot of new magicians think that you have to create something revolutionary to be on the scene. But the truth of the matter is that mostly everything's already been done. You can still come up with some cool stuff, but for the most part, it's already been done.
Yeah. And every now and then there'll be a unicorn that you're like, whoa.
It's very rare though. Recently, Nicholas Lawrence put out this trick, which looks insane, by the way. It's a pip matrix, right? So firstly, I love the pip matrix. It's one of my favorite tricks. I have a video of me doing it, and I will say it's a fine handling. But the handling that I came up with for that pip matrix was my own. It was my own handling. However, I can't take credit for each individual move I used because, it's like a be kind change, a clip shift. You know what I mean? I'm using a bunch of changes that already exist, but I'm combining them in a way that creates this entirely new pip matrix. And so visually, it looks totally different to what most people would do, but it's just a combination of ideas that other people have come up with. So I guess that in itself can be considered creative, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Because that's it. The saying is to do well in business, you don't have to be the best. You just have to be the most unique. And I think that's exactly the same in magic, right? Tony, you just got to find your flavor of doing certain things. You don't have to revolutionize everything, Yeah, so I think that's what it comes down to.
Cups and balls for 10 years, man. Cups and balls for 10 years. You think that's original?
Yeah, and even just today, you were telling me a new joke you came up with that makes it even more unique into you. Yeah. So it's good stuff.
You want to hear that joke? You'll have to see us on our 24-hour live stream coming soon.
Good stuff. All right, we'll go for Tony's second question.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So great question. Let's go for the next one.
Second question is, do you adjust your repertoire to the different types of crowds that you perform to? basically this question is more directed to Josh than to Jason, because I believe in corporate gigs. You know, he is performing from gig to gig. He performs to different types of people. You know, it's not the same to perform for a bunch of lawyers and a bunch of, you know, electricians, for example. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Josh can elaborate on that. And, you know, also I believe that Jason is always performing for people that are watching him because of him. You know, people walk by the street and they see a magician. If they want to see a show, they will stay. If not, they're just gonna walk by, you know, walk away. And so basically he's always reduced to people that are there because they want to be there. But maybe in corporate gigs, you know, some people don't find magic as a fun form of entertainment, you know. So Josh, can you talk a little bit about this? I hope I made some sense with that question. Basically that's it. Have fun, guys, keep up the good work, and happy holidays. I'll be listening. Bye bye.
All right, cool. Well, I guess I'll go fuck myself.
Great question, Tony, but you are wrong in the way that, you know, Jason does have to, like, every single audience of his is possibly different.
That's so funny. Well, also, just for reference, I do a lot of gigs. Like, the reason why I'm known for the streets mostly is because that's where my heart is in performance. I love street performing. I love that style of thing. But I do loads of gigs. But Josh,
so his question, he's talking about stage corporate gigs. By the way, thanks for sticking by the corporate gigs, my friend. That's great. That was a funny moment. But in terms of a stage show for a corporate audience, the whole audience, obviously, different companies are different, types of businesses, so different demographics. Basically, in a nutshell, for me to do well in that environment, the show must be very quick. Like, in terms of content, it must be very full. So there's like always something happening. You can't have a lot of dead time because you're right, people aren't there to watch me. So it's very easy for them to lose interest if you don't kind of get them pretty quick. So the show has to be very clean and sharp and full of jam-packed full of stuff. The other thing that's super important I've found is that you have to have a really good introduction. So the person introing you to the crowd has to really not talk you up, but has to introduce you in a way that makes people interested or intrigued.
Josh usually gives them a script to read.
Yeah.
I think we've got it here, actually. Yeah, here it is.
Go ahead, just read it. This is my intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest today. Not only is he the most handsome... You write this yourself? All right. Not only is he the most handsome, attractive magician in the world, he's also the most talented... You really write this stuff.
So you got to be humble with your intro.
Yeah, okay. Well, look, we'll just get past
that. So that was not real. But basically, I did... So I spent...
What are you talking about? It's right here.
I've spent quite a bit of time crafting this introduction, and it just points out a few highlights of my career, like if I've been on TV or companies I've worked with. And there was a study done, and it was a very noticeable increase in interest if you have an introduction or if you don't have an introduction. So that's a little superpower that really helps, is I have that first. So people are like, oh, great. Okay, we want to watch this. You know, I have all my music queued up.
Social proof.
Social proof. Yeah, social proof. Yeah. And I queue all my music up for the show. Some people will do shows without music. For me in corporate, like, I have all these stingers that run throughout stuff happening. So there's always something happening. Yeah. So if there's no magic happening or me talking, there's music playing. So there's always stuff. And just basically in a nutshell, like, to make sure that an Australian audience likes the show, there's a lot of comedy within the show. So if they're not big on magic, they're probably big on comedy. So they're either enjoying the magic or they're laughing at the stuff that's happening around the magic. So in a nutshell, for Australia, at least, we love our comedy. So there's just lots of comedic timing built into the show, so that by the end, a lot of people will say, look, I don't even like magic or know what magic is, but I really enjoyed that show. So in a nutshell, that's what it is. And you make it about the people. I'll take my time to research the industry so I can drop a few of their terms for different stuff. Like when I did an engineering conference, I listened to the keynote speaker that went on before me. They were talking about black matter and all this kind of crazy stuff. So I was able to bring up some of those terms in the magic, and that just lets them know that, you know, you give a shit about their industry. So that's basically it.
There is one thing I want to. There is one thing I want to point out too, because Tony seems to have this idea that when you're street performing, people will see you and go, "Oh, I'm going to watch that guy because he's there," right? And now, have you ever heard of like the rule, like if you have a nice shop front but shit product, no one's going to stay? You know what I mean? Like they might come in, but they're not going to stay. So. Firstly, my shop front already looks like shit because you know I'm a big white guy with hair everywhere, and
like if anyone's loud enough, they can make people stop at least for a second.
Exactly. So this is like the social proof. So like before you even get on stage, you have to have someone hype you up, kind of thing. Like these people now have to be. So now the person comes out, they say, "We've got Josh coming on. He's amazing. He's, you know, semi-finalist on Australia's Got Talent. Blah blah blah. You know, rippling six-pack, massive nose, great guy." And then you come out, and everyone's like excited to see you. But if you shit the bed like in the first 5 minutes,
that helps you for the first maybe 30 seconds.
Exactly. And it's kind of the same with street performing. Only with street performing, so you in that 30 seconds, the entire room is now on your side for 30 seconds. You have to keep it, right?
Yeah.
For me, I start out, I get 5 people. For 30 seconds, I have to convince them to stay and watch me, right? And then I get 5 more people. And now I've already convinced these guys to stay, but now I have to convince these guys while still retaining these guys. So now there's like this split focus that comes into play. And this happens the whole entire show until you've got 200 people there, right? And then you've got to keep all of their interest. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because whenever I do gigs, like shows at gigs, I find that audience retention, like holding that interest, so much easier because of the fact that I've had to split focus retention for so long, for so many years.
Interesting.
So now when I get on a stage, boom, I just get them. Like I just get them and it's done and I can just do the show.
Yep.
But
nice.
But yeah, so that's if you want to learn how to like handle a stage, just go and do some street shows, man.
Yeah. Look, as we've talked about before, they're different beasts. Like just very different. He's actually building his crowd, whereas I've got a crowd and then I have to work with that crowd. So just totally different. But good question on the same. It's just, you know, you just got to be good at what you're doing, I suppose. But
there is like one thing that's difficult though about going from street to stage though, is all of my stuff is geared towards being on the same level. Does that makes sense? So I'm standing at the same height as all of these people watching me.
Yeah.
Whereas like you typically higher than them. So they're looking up at you.
Yeah.
And that just changes the way that you have to perform.
Yeah.
Which was something that I had to learn to deal with. Obviously, that was a weird change.
And you can plan out your stage craft a bit. Like you can lay things out on a stage and people can't walk away. So you can do a little bit of comedic pacing in your show, whereas street performing is very full on and very fast.
Just think quick, move fast.
Yeah.
And again, same thing as yours. It can't be any dead time.
Yeah.
There can be zero dead time.
100%. I've mentioned this before, but I used to try and do this routine that had a lot of proceduralness to it, and people would just lose interest because at a corporate event, like they're not there to watch magic. So you start doing this thing where you're like, all right, tear the cards, do this, put 3 at the bottom, like they're gone, you know? Yeah. So that's that time that I had someone say, this is shit. Because it was just like mid-procedure, like they were drinking. Yeah,
it's just too long.
I learned very quickly. Yeah, so even when an effect is just finished and the music comes on for the 3 people on stage to walk off stage, I now have an effect that happens like I'm doing a visual effect on stage while they're even walking back to their seat. So that way there's always something happening. They don't get a chance to stop and talk to Sally and lose them. Except for that one gig that I had like 3 weeks ago, I mentioned earlier in another podcast where like I just totally bombed. That was just poor setup.
Yeah,
but for the most part, it's
I even try to fill dead time when I like give someone a pen. Like, you know, you got to sign the card. So here's the pen. Now there are 2 ways to do it. I can go, here's the pen, or I can flash paper, bam, here's the pen. You know what I mean? It's more exciting.
Yeah.
And for you typically change the color of the pen.
Yep.
And then even while they're signing the card, because there's this dead time there where they're signing the card now, what am I going to do? Stand there and just be like, No, what I do is I do something like a card vomit, or I'll do, you flick the card up and catch it with your face. There's all kinds of things you can do that just make it interesting. Still, you can do a whole bunch of jokes. Like there's heaps of jokes that you can throw out there.
And the one I love that we haven't tried yet is when we watch David Stone, and he does one where the spectator can't put the lid back on the pen.
No, he can't take it off the pen. And then he goes, I don't see what the problem is. And he just pops it right off.
No, it's so, I mean, I don't want to explain like the workings of it, but basically like he takes it off very easily and puts it back onto the underneath.
Oh,
and
yeah,
says,
that's
I'll
it.
know
Like,
you're
and
done.
they can't
He's like, I'll know
yeah.
you're done when you recap the pen, and they can't. And then he just can't. And he always picks the biggest guy. He picked me in the lecture. And then he goes, yeah, I don't see what the problem is. Like, we should try it. It's quite funny.
I have shit, we should do that. I've got to do that. I'm gonna do that. You know what I started doing? I told you this in the car, but because of COVID, you can't do the card to mouth anymore. Right? I mean, you can, I guess, but you'd have to make sure that they never touch the cards. Yeah. Which, like, sometimes I do still. But if I'm going to do that, I would literally, I spread the cards out and I just go say stop wherever you want, and then that's their card. So they never touch the deck, which is super important. But now I started doing this trick called bolted, where it's great. It's such a good finish, man. So you like, instead of the card appearing in your mouth, you get to do all the same gags and jokes and blah, 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 blah. And then it appears bolted in between two pieces of glass, right? And it's like tightly bolted, and you can hand it out for them to check it out and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the good thing about that though is that I can go, it's like, you can actually check this out too, because it's been sanitized for your protection. You just toss them the glass,
Sealed within the glass.
Yeah.
Slate.
So a piece on either side, and then the bolts go through the glass and through the card.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's tightly bolted on there, yeah.
That's crazy.
It's
great effect.
It's a good trick.
I can't believe you're probably the only one doing it in street shows too.
Yeah, I saw.
Great.
Well, I got it off Christopher Wayne. He's a friend of ours, a magician.
I've seen
one
him
half
do
of
it
the
too.
Naked Magicians.
Yeah.
He hooked me up with the knowledge, and then I was like, I just started using it. It's great.
Very nice.
It's so good. It's so comfortable to use.
Yeah, it's very nice. Very nice. We have one more question if we want to take it for this episode.
Who's it from?
It's from Dominic Miles.
No, I hate that guy. I'm just kidding. Yeah, let's hear it.
All right, here
Dominic
we go.
Miles.
Dominic.
How's it, Magic Guys? My name is Dominic and I'm from Cape Town in South Africa.
Oh yeah.
My question to you is, if you could only own 3 magic books, which ones would they be and why? My 3 favorite books at the moment are Mnemonica by Juan Tamariz, Revolutionary Card Technique by Ed Marlowe, and Drawing Room Deceptions by Guy Hollingworth. Hope you have a great Christmas and New Year's. Cheers.
First of all,
Bro.
nice accent. Also, I think you literally just nailed Josh's favorite book, and then also my
We're
favorite
both very happy with that.
Yeah. So yeah, Drawing Room Deception is like my holy Bible. Like the Reformation trick, I do that trick all the time. It's like
Do it so well.
It's almost like my unique selling point. Like,
Yeah.
if I meet a new client, I do that. I do that to them, and you give it to them afterwards. Sign their name, put it in bolt it.
Yeah, and it looks just as good in video too. It's one of those ones that
It's insane. It's a good trick.
that's awesome.
And then Mnemonica by Montemaris.
Yeah, Mnemonica, I love it. Mnemonica is one of those things you can't learn it until you've learned all other magic. Like you can't start by learning Mnemonica. So once you get to the point where you're like, yep, I want to get that book, there's just so much knowledge in there. Like if you were to take the time, because I haven't, but if you were to take the time to like learn all the routines in that, like you would have this second repertoire of just crazy shit. So it's amazing that you have both of those as your favorite books. And then the Ed Marlowe one, to be honest, I've never read. Have you read it?
I have not.
Yeah, it might be
I'm
something
sure
for us to
it's
look
Ed
into.
Marlowe though,
yeah,
so,
but 3 favorite books. What would yours be?
Mine, okay, well, Drawing Room Deception is actually my number 1 favorite book.
Nice.
Hands down number 1. My second favorite would be, honestly, it sounds cliche, but it's Bobo's Modern Coin Magic. There's so much stuff in that book.
Really nice.
I love coin magic, and there's just so much in there. And then my other one is actually Secrets of David Stone.
Oh yeah. Ah, the book form.
Yeah,
The book version.
Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah,
it's a good
nice.
read.
Nice. Because
Oh, sorry, I got to throw one more in there too. Teaching Magic by Eugene Berger. That is a
Yeah,
good book. It's,
right.
And not even for the tricks. Like the tricks are great, but it's like 100 pages of just like theory talk that he just writes, and it's just such a good read. I really enjoyed reading that book.
yeah.
It might be the first magic book I'd ever read cover to cover in sequential order.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's really interesting. So for magic books, I guess for me, like the 3 that I'm enjoying at the moment, because I have a few that I'm reading. I just got Ben Hart's In the Dark magic book. That's really great too, but that's something I'm currently reading. But in terms of like favorites, Juan Tamariz, mnemonica, definitely, because I'm using it actively so much right now. Close to that is RZ Wynn's repertoire book. It also has some mnemonica work in it, but also just has a lot more modern age stuff. For people who don't know, RZ Wynn is David Copperfield's #1 consultant and amazing performer. And then book number 3, which not a lot of people are talking about, is Helder Gamirez Volume 1 book. It's a very thick book, and it has all these little details on just making moves in Magic a little bit better. He's really thought out what he loves doing in his routines.
I think I remember, because I hadn't seen you in a few months. Right?
Yeah.
And the first time I saw you, you came over and you were like, bro, I'm reading this book on like subtleties. It doesn't teach you tricks. It just teaches you tiny little things that make them better.
Yeah.
And I remember, it was a good moment. I think that was that re-sparked our friendship.
Yeah, we were like, whoa, your pinky can do what?
Say what?
Yeah.
There was just tiny little moments.
But to be clear, it does teach effects, but a lot of it is also subtleties on moves. And just like reading that is like, it's like I'm relearning moves again. And it just basically makes moves more invisible, which is dope. So currently they're my 3 favorite. Yeah. But hey, it's great to know we have a fellow Cape Town listener. That's dope.
I think it's great that he's a big fan of Drawing Room Deceptions. Guy Hollingworth.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I like
Good
it.
book.
I like it a lot. This is good.
You're twisting the ladies' routine. Did you know, by the way, if you've got that book, a lot of people don't know this because for some reason they don't read it. They just skip through to the tricks. But there's actually a gem hidden at the very start that he deliberately put in like
at the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning log. So people don't read that normally, they just skip through it. So he put this like really nice trick in there. It's a good trick. It's a really good trick. And it's just hidden in there. So if you don't know that, you should
in the
definitely
forward. Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
the forward?
yeah. It's just hidden. It's just hidden amongst it. Just randomly, he'll just tell the trick.
Wow. Okay. Oh, that's awesome.
I really enjoyed that. I was like, this guy.
Damn. Okay. Oh, this is sick. So look, before we wrap up today's one, I think we need to let people know something we've been working on in the background. And Jason mentioned it a little bit in our last podcast. And that is that we have officially started our Patreon.
Marriage.
Our marriage. Yeah. Our bromance.
Sorry.
No, that's been living for a long time.
No, our Patreon. Yeah, we've
started a Patreon. I'll put some of the footage on the screen here. It's called The Magic Guys. And essentially, there are 3 tiers to it currently. There are 3 tiers. We've basically now created a second podcast per week. So the Magic Guys now pumps out 2 podcasts a week. One is for the public viewing pleasure. And the second one, we can go a little deeper knowing that it's just for the Patreon family. And that will come out every week as well. And we're calling those episodes like the 0.5. So if this is episode 6, the Patreon will be episode 6.5. And, if you enjoy our content, it just lets you enjoy it twice as much. So everyone in there gets to a second episode every week, video and audio. Then you have a second tier, which gives you access to an online live Zoom Magic Jam that we'll do once a month. That way you can interact with us and we can just have a general jam, or we can ask questions. We can just interact on that sort of more
just
personal.
hang out and watch Magic.
Yeah, we can literally just watch your Magic or watch other Magic and just hang out. And then there's a third tier for the really dedicated people who hate the way that we're formatting our show and want to be a producer and change things. So the third tier is you can be a producer of the podcast, and it just means that we'll take your input and you can suggest topics of things we should talk
at the
about.
End of the podcast as well.
Your name will be in the credits underneath the podcast, and so that you can be more involved, I guess. So it's interesting. It'd be interesting to see.
You'll also be able to give us talking points as well. You'll be able to suggest things that you want to hear being discussed. And
100%. And so they're the things we're committing to. And then on top of that, you'll also see other things when we're putting them up, like extra content from Jason or extra content from myself. Maybe
some
more
bloopers.
Yeah, some bloopers, always good. But look, this thing is live right now. So our first Patreon is probably out already, and you'll be able to hear that, if you do jump on. Not to say you do, because we'll always be doing our public content.
Just remember, there's no pressure to do it. Yeah. And it range from $5 a month to $25 a month. So, whatever your budget works, and everything is appreciated. And even if you just want to linger and not sign up for the Patreon, it's still appreciated.
Yeah.
So
like you don't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
But if for $5 a month, you'll get 4 extra podcasts. You get 2 more hours of us ranting on.
$10 a month, you can hang out with us online.
Exactly. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. But yeah, so
insane.
Definitely no pressure. We don't need you to join up, but we would love to see you there.
And that's all she wrote. I guess we'll be seeing you guys next time. Thanks for listening, guys. It was a lot of fun. That's 40 minutes of solid rambling.
Nice. We'll see you next time on The Magic Guys.
Thanks for listening. It's time for us to disappear now. But we'll see you again on the next episode of The Magic Guys.